It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, the Minister for Regional Development in Northern Ireland. On behalf of the Minister, please join me in welcoming Tom Reid to the podium.
Okay, David, thank you very much for the introduction and the promotion. First of all, can I say I'm delighted to be here today on behalf of Minister Kennedy and to represent DRD at the launch of the Regional Strategic Framework for the Central Border Region. I think it's been said a number of times today that this is a momentous day for ICBAN member councils, and it's important we recognise the fact that today is a culmination of a period of hard work and dedication by so many people. The Regional Strategic Framework for the Central Border Region, it's a significant document, both in terms of what it sets out to do and also in terms of how it was developed. At the heart of this document is a coherent vision and direction for what really is a diverse region. A vision that's been developed in partnership with stakeholders, and I think it's recognised and sought, and I would say very successfully, to reconcile the competing interests of the local member councils. By adopting that approach, it doesn't ignore local issues and challenges, but it usefully sets those in a regional context, and it highlights the strategic and the practical benefits of cooperation across member councils. I think a substantial and very useful piece of work has also been undertaken in respect of the data capture project, which sits alongside the framework document, and I think it would be remiss of us not to recognise the importance of that document or the very hard work that went into producing it. From a DRD perspective, the work undertaken by ICBAN underpins the spatial planning work undertaken by my own team within the regional planning branch in DRD. And the framework document complements and underpins our regional development strategy, and I think will greatly assist with its implementation. The strategic framework is also an example of how regional and local interests along the border can implement the framework for cooperation, the Spatial Strategies for Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland document in a practical way. And that document was recently launched by DRD in conjunction with the Department for Environment, Communities and Local Government in the South. And it supports cooperation in spatial planning and recognises the need to avoid back-to-back planning in neighbouring jurisdictions. I think the need for this type of broader perspective and the recognition of the wider benefit of cooperation or cooperative working on a range of economic, social and environmental projects has been demonstrated by ICBAN across this framework document. I think the Central Border area itself is set within an important spatial context with the Belfast-Dublin corridor to the east and the North-West Gateway to the west. And we have a network of regional centres, key towns and countryside areas with significant potential for progress in economic, social and environmental terms, and we see that throughout the framework. So it's a diverse region, and DRD, along with our colleagues in the Department of Environment, Communities and Local Government, recognise that there will be both challenges and opportunities in planning, economic development and infrastructure provision in the Central Border area. Now, these challenges will need to be taken forward in a way that takes account of the strategic context and that sets out a clear, coherent and compelling vision for the region. And I think the launch of the Regional Strategic Framework document today, in that regard, provides that vision and direction. But it's much more than that. At the heart of the framework is a recognition of the need and indeed a clear commitment to practical cooperation across and beyond the Central Border area to deliver real benefits and realise the potential of the region. And I think that's the key value of the document. And that's significant because what it means is that today is the start of a process. It's not the end of a process. The hard work really does start now. The framework is an ambitious document. It sets out many objectives for the Central Border region, but the hard work and effort which has brought the framework document this far will need to be harnessed to ensure that those objectives are delivered and taken forward to implementation. And ICBAN will have an important role to play in securing the implementation of the framework as a coordinating group, as a lobbying group, and perhaps more often than not as mediators between competing interests. And I think it's fair to say that Shane and his team will need support in this implementation stage. First and foremost, this support will have to come from the member councils of the Central Border region. It will be a difficult and challenging task, and successful implementation of the framework will rely on cooperation rather than competition between members. It will require everyone to acknowledge the bigger picture and recognise the benefits for the Central Border region as a whole, rather than looking for the benefits at an individual district or county level first of all. I think I also recognise that we in central government have a key role to play in this regard, and I am very much looking forward to continuing to work with Shane and his team, the local authorities and the various stakeholders in implementing and supporting the implementation of the framework. I think the support given to the project to date by DRD will continue after today. My team in the Regional Planning Branch will provide practical support and advice where possible in the achievement of the framework objectives. And we'll also work very closely with our colleagues in the Department of the Environment in Northern Ireland and the Department of Environment, Local Government and Communities in the South to ensure that the framework document remains on the agenda as part of the ongoing local government reform processes in both jurisdictions. And I'm going to finish at this point by once again commending everyone involved in the development of the framework document. Securing agreement on a common vision and direction across a range of bodies and administrations is never an easy task, but it's a challenge I think ICBAN and the member councils have risen to, and I think you have set a benchmark for other regions. The task now, I think, is for all of us to seize the opportunity to work together and deliver the vision set out in the document. Thank you.